Today's video is brought to you by URCD Keys, the best source for Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys at deeply discounted prices. More details at the end of the video. I have several links in the video description below.
You do. Pull them up. Show them.
And they're all on an Antec. And they start with the GTX 960. You know, I said 2014. The 970 and 980 launched in 2014. This actually launched in January.
2014.
Now, 2015. The 960 wasn't perfect, but it did launch for $199. And it was a decent 1080p card at the time. It was a little underpowered. I mean, honestly, if you could swing it, it would help if I hit the right button. Sorry. So the GTX 960 launched in January 22 of 2015. It works much better if I hit the right button and they can see what we're talking about.
That's very true.
So $199 for the mainstream 1080p card at the time, or $329 for the mainstream 1440p card at the time, or the super premium 1080p option. Because these all were 2 gig cards at launch. They had 4 gig cards later, but they were 2 gig cards. So if you wanted the better experience and you could swing the whole extra $129. In retrospect, if you had to live with it for a while, spending the $129 6 years ago to go from a 962 gig to a 974 gig, best deal ever.
Is it worth? Oh my gosh.
But I mean, it would, a 970 is actually still useful today. It's not, it has severe limitations, but it is useful. And so that's, and if this new 6600 XT was $249, I wouldn't be saying all this.
Oh, wow, that came out in September of 14?
Yeah.
Huh.
That and the 980 came out sooner. And then the 960 came out then, and then about a year after this, in September of 2015, the 980 Ti came out.
I remember that.
So we've got that. And then, do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, the 1060.
We had a YouTube channel at that point.
We were yelling from the rooftops about this thing. There was a 3 gig and a 6 gig card.
The 3 gig card came out later, though. See how this has 6 gigs?
Yes.
The 6 gig card was first, and it retailed for $249. This is where nvidia tried to charge more for their founders. And, of course, a premium card like the Asus ROG Strix would have cost more. But you could buy cards for $249, and there were actually cards available back then. It's not like it took 3 months before you could buy a card for double MSRP. And the 1070 was more, but in some regards, the 1070, it was $50 more than a 970. But for that $50, it went to 8 gigs of VRAM.
Correct.
This was the deal. If you could swing a 1070 back then.
We were yelling from the rooftops with that.
A 1070 is a legit graphics card today.
Yes, it is. A lot of people have that.
An Antec.
Hey, I recognize. Oh, there you go. Gee, I wonder why. Hi, Ian.
You know what's hilarious?
What?
Oh, no, he didn't do that one.
No, he didn't. Did you one of them? Oh, Ryan's been busy.
No, he didn't.
Better late than never. Oh,
Ian,
no.
You didn't do any of these. We're so disappointed in you, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Ryan Smith did all these.
Who's Mr. Smith?
He's the editor-in-chief.
You missed my Matrix joke. Oh, no, that's Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. Here's the question. Does Ian know off the top of his head, no searching, so he has to answer really quickly in chat, or he's cheating.
Okay.
Does Ian know off the top of his head what the last article that I actually don't know if I'm saying that right.
It's really hard to say.
When's the last article he wrote before he left? Before he sold it? Does he still work for Apple, by the way? That's where he went to work after he sold it.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't heard a thing about him or from him since.
Ryan does the GPUs and he does the CPUs.
I just interviewed a Mr. So did you say Mr. Anderson? You have to admit he did that right in the movie.
Oh, it totally did that right.
I mean, it's just.
I mean, that was like, you remember it.
Oh boy, The Matrix was awesome.
Just yesterday, right?
And then they made Jupiter Ascending.
Oh my gosh.
Watch the honest trailer of Jupiter Ascending.
He says the I'm leaving article. He's cheeky. He's still an apple.
Hey, Ian.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
He's
not
sitting there laughing his ass off right now. How's your computer working? That you finally got the pins working on? Is it happy now that you figured that out?
That's not what I. That is a technically correct but useless answer. I award you 2 gold stars for having the correct answer, and I retract 3 gold stars for you being pedantic.
I bet you he does that to his wife too, and she just looks at him.
She's a saint.
Don't stop me, boy.
Oh, okay. So, getting back to what we're
Ian's
talking
trying
about,
to derail the.
he's Mr. Potato Head, is what he is. Here
we go.
So the 1660 Founders was $249, and while it was more money,
1660 or 1060?
1060.
Okay.
While it was $249, I would like to point out that we leapt from 2 gigs of VRAM to 6. So I can understand the price increase. The 3 gig version was $199 when it launched a little bit later. So, okay, it was a bit of a price increase, but not too much. I mean, fine. This was, of course, the deal if you could swing one. The 1080 was absolutely not. That was dumb. But, whatever. And then this happened, honey.
Oh, the 2060 6 gig Founders. Yes.
Not to worry. The next 60 series card. See, the 1060 launched for $249 and
$349.
with the same 6 gigs of VRAM.
It did.
But
it's 6.5 teraflops versus 4.4. Come on now. And 10.8 billion transistors versus 4.4. And it's Turing instead of Pascal. And it's 12 nanometer FFN instead of TSMC 16.
The 2060 was always a bit overpriced. And
it was.
Had it launched at $299, it would have been not as bad. NVIDIA was trying to position it as RTX is premium. They didn't want to make RTX cheap. And of course, they had the 1660 Ti and 1660 Super coming, which filled on the $200 price point. Whatever. Now, what's interesting is I'm only showing NVIDIA cards, and here we have a launch of an AMD card. That's not fair. See, we knew it. Tech's biased. He only likes Team Green.
NVIDIA show.
Inshell.
Ooh, the R9 3080.
That came out in 2015 as well, although it was late. It missed the launch of
Happy Thanksgiving.
It missed the 960
Ryan
launch.
wanted to get this article out before Thanksgiving so we can enjoy Thanksgiving.
He did. Now this, by the way, you guys do great, easy to read tables. Never change. I don't care what changes on the internet. This is just so easy to read.
It is.
Just leave it. And so we have
28 nanometers.
The 980. Notice that the core counts are pretty close between the 980 and the 980. I keep saying that.
380.
Help me.
The R9. Help me, Obi-Wan's not here.
It's the 93080.
The R9 3080.
Stupid naming conventions.
Okay, they are close together. 3080X actually.
2 gig versus 4 gig.
Yes.
Now, in fairness, $30 difference. That $30 was worth every penny. Because 4 gig versus 2 gig.
That's really the only thing that's different. 5 billion, 190
Course.
watts. Well, yeah. 32 texture units. There's a few more texture units. That's about it.
It wasn't that much more, however, for the 390.
To duck up to 390.
Which didn't have tons more cores, but 8 gigs of VRAM.
6.2.
And I would like to point out to everybody, 2015, 8 gigs of VRAM for $329. 2021, 8 gigs of VRAM, pretending to be $379,
Really?
$500. And here's the worst part. The 6600 XT is a decent 1080p card. The 390 was an awesome 1440p card back then. For $329.
And here we got 500 for
1080p.
For 1080p.
And a marginal 1080p at that.
That's what you're complaining at. Jensen was awarded the Robert Noyce IE medal today. Lisa won the Robert Noyce C award last year. Semiconductor Industry Alliance. Okay. Yay. Good job.
Would they like to go here?
Here, they can have two.
There, we hereby award them 2 gold stars.
Well, you know what happens at the Thanksgiving table, or they'll go here, and they'll just switch them.
I'll give you an award, and I'll give you an award. You get an award, and you get an award.
I see you got my award. Sorry.
I needed an award.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Do we all sound annoyed enough yet? Look, I'm not trying to be difficult with all this. It's just...
It's the reality of it. 2015 called them what's its...
390 back.
Yeah. And actually, that's better than...
Except in power consumption. I mean, that used a lot more power consumption.
Yes, I know they're related. That's why I said that.
That's
Whatever.
cheating.
Just explain it some more.
She's not just... Thanks, Ian, for mansplaining it to my wife.
No. Hang on. Up here, he said something. Anne's last article was about smartphones or something. Oh, he says that 3 EPS system doesn't work even with triple EPS power supplies. Sending it back. Oh, okay. Doesn't like your Pummy power supply, huh? Okay.
Then something happened in 2016.
Oh, what happened? Oh, yes, the RX 480 came.
And they never made a 490. Now, they did make a 590, but it was sad, pathetic, and stupid. They were increasing the model number just to have something to sell, but it was desperation.
June 29th, 2016. There's Ryan coming in again.
That was such an ugly, crappy
It was an
cooler.
ugly card.
That's awful.
We even said that when it came. It looks like a speaker gone wrong.
Yeah, it really... It looks... You know what it looks like? It looks like a...
You know what it looks like?
What?
At home, we have these crackers, Sayos, that you can put butter and then Vegemite, and then you go like this, and they make Vegemite worms. That's exactly what that looks like. You could make good Vegemite worms with that card.
Your example was more family-friendly than mine.
Okay.
I'll leave it to your imagination.
No, I'm not even gonna. Not even gonna.
So this launch, there was both a 4 and an 8 gig version.
Correct.
But interestingly enough, if you had an R9 390, this wasn't an upgrade. And neither was a 580. They never had an upgrade over the... Yes, I know Fury existed. I don't care. But it only had 4 gigs of RAM. Yes, I know Vega existed, but I don't care because Vega's stupid. And by the way, to people who've been telling me that's not a fair comment, yes, it is. If you got lucky with one, good for you. I've had a dozen of them. They suck.
The Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas are awful.
No end to complaining about them.
Oh, my God. I've had too many of them. I've tried too many cards. No. But, so they had a 4 and an 8 gig version. And frankly, the 4 gig was always stupid. And why they made it, they made it for OEMs. They made it for people who buy on price. Because look at the price difference.
Not much.
But it's all VRAM. There's no other difference between the cards. Maybe a slight VRAM speed difference, but they could both be 7s.
Memory clock, yeah.
But other than that, they were the same cards.
Except for the VRAM.
But of course, the 8 gig cards have aged much better than the 4 gig, and they've held their value better. And of course, considering current mining situations, an 8 gigabyte 480 is worth double a 4 gig 480. Fun food for thought.
Go.
How much was an 8 gigabyte RX 480 back in, when was this, 2016? How much?
$239.
Say it louder.
$240.
What do you think they're worth today?
$350. $350. Let's see if I'm right.
$350. $350.
Oh, there's the ugly card.
That is trash. So you could have paid $240 5 years ago, used it for 5 years, and then sold it today for a 50% profit. That exemplifies everything broken.
It does.
I cannot think of... Pardon me while I just dropped the mic. That's it right there. That's everything broken. The last thing I want to say is then in 2017...
The RX 580.
Which was just a refresh. And it was not a bad refresh. They cleaned it up a bit. They marginally improved it. It really was just a refresh, but fair enough. And the 570 and the 580 were fine. I mean, but it was all a refresh of the 400 series. Same chip design, same basic everything. $10 cheaper. Yay. But hey, $229. Again, those are worth $350, $400 today. 8 gigabytes, 1080p.
Well, isn't it worth a little bit more than the 480, or is it
a little bit? A small amount.
It's okay. Don't have to take it personally. It's all alright. We'll just have to find something else to talk about.
I could get my Apple II GS off the shelf again.
Yeah, you could.
URCD Keys is the best source for genuine Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys that work the first time, every time. Get 20% off normal prices using our discount code BST for Byte Size Tech and the link in the video description below. $15 gets you a Windows 10 Professional OEM key that is a real product key, activates directly with Microsoft, use it forever as it links to your Microsoft account and it works through reinstalls. Get a full copy of Office 2019 Professional Plus for about $50 that redeems at setup.office.com using your Microsoft account. It also works forever through reinstalls. We have been using URCD keys for almost 3 years now and recommend you do so as well.